think we've seen Sprout's best work on the C side, especially we definitely did on Vertigo. That was, where Sprout were unstoppable. Remember, for those who may be just joining us, it was 15-10. Endpoint were on CT side 15-10 on their map pick of Vertigo, and then Sprout won 9 in a row to then take it in overtime. And we just did absolutely bonkers, right? A flawless overtime from them. I mean, I think we've seen the best work out of Sprout on the T side. They are going to play it safe, though. Go for that CT side start, which, to be honest, I'm not against by any means. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that, but I just think we've seen some really good work from Sprout on their T side. But maybe if they can set themselves up with some good foundations on what is the preferred side of CT, their T side could be good after the bar. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, we're on the way. Endpoint on the T side. Can they get a pistol?
Let's see, Zyphon. Oh, that's great timing to expose himself from Boiler there, because that catches Surreal off guard completely. But still, the fight comes through from Endpoint. Bomb, though, that's the issue. That is still there, but Heavy God just says, no, I want the bomb back. It's mine. I'm the one who should be planting it. And Zyphon, even though he thinks he has some control of it, gets absolutely destroyed. That was dirty. And Endpoint are going to have themselves a plant here. 4v2. With no kit picked up, I reckon this is going to be a pistol in their favour once again.
It's tough, right? Very difficult. Refreshes to come up with some magic here, staring support too. But this crossfight is immaculate. The second one on site takes contact. NertZ can peek up from Graveyard. It's just an unstoppable fortress and stare. Just wants to get out of dodge. Just half armor to work with. A nade in his pocket as well. I mean, it's better than nothing. Ticking over in towards the next Endpoint. That is a stellar pistol. They've had some success over towards our second map that I've overpassed on their pistols, and we were thinking, okay, maybe we could see, maybe something go off the back of it. And what ended up being a very good map for Endpoint. Overpass was some of their best work we have seen. Now they start off well on the T side, looking very decent. Stair will have a somewhat okay buy with the FAMAS coming through. It's just that what is the support around it, and it actually is pretty gruesome. A 5-7, which is good, but may not be as impactful as the likes of the AKs coming out, or what would be even more as that MP7. We've seen it do some pretty decent work so far. If it's not in the hands of NertZ, maybe not as much, because he seems to love that gun. But either way, double AK setup, double Mac 10, 1 MP7 against some pistols, a FAMAS, and a Scout.
Yes, I'm Heavy God on the MP7. NertZ on the AK. So much on the line for these two teams. Endpoint looking to make Pro League once again, looking to be an upset team in next season's main stage. At least all this season's main stage. You go by the precise naming. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, a team that has beaten Navi last season. That was really the upset of the year. Sprout never been in Pro League as an organisation, as far as I know. Surreal been trying to keep that as a fact. This force buy is not going anywhere at the moment. Zyphon's going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place in a moment, and the hard place takes him down. MP7 deals with him comfortably and stay. Even though he has a FAMAS, he's going to be having to fall away with that. And obviously, if Endpoint feel like it, they can afford to send the Mac 10 in and go searching for it, because that would be a significant upgrade, but we shall see.
I think it's a bad call, right? Get that Mac 10 running about. The best case scenario, it not only gets an upgrade, but also if it finds the kill, bit of cash in the pocket, win-win situation, if you ask me, and make sure, of course, even on top of that third one, Stairs doesn't save anything. So, all in all, very good. I don't think they'll get there in time, that the bomb is relatively far ticked. And actually, credit to Endpoint, they're actually being relatively composed about this as well, not trying to get too overzealous, not trying to, force the agenda here by any means. They're just playing cool, calm, collective, as they'll collect their second. A lot of damage done off the bomb, but overall won't be too much of an issue. Great start for Sprouts, of course. That was a forced investment in towards that second round, so it means they're heading to the third. What they can bring to the table is probably going to be a little bit on the more minimalistic side, so we're expecting, to be perfectly honest, Endpoint to get a 3-0 start here. Nice, comfortable little buffer to work with before we see the true proper response from Sprout. And then on top of that, if Endpoint are able to start chaining a few rounds together in the full buys, that's when you start feeling really confident if you're a UK CSGO fan.
Yeah,
like
and yeah, like me. There's a good part of me that is, I can assure you. But yeah, the thing that's interesting, of course, for Sprout is that they're choosing to force buy, because on this map, in general, if you full eco off the pistol round, as that nade literally does 91 damage, ouch, the problem is that if you're an M4A4 user, especially on a map like Inferno, the issue you have is that you'll have barely any utility on a very utility central map on that first buy round, which would have been this round. So sometimes force buying is actually better. You've got more chance of going straight back and being more confident pushing forward, and you win that round straight back immediately. It can often be a bit of a staller for a T side, which so I can understand why they force bought and didn't eco for the guns instead on a map like this, but it does give Endpoint a chance to build up that money, doesn't it? And NertZ once again with the MP7 is looking relatively clean.
Well, one will go down. Will Zyphon get anything on the exits? E250 having a little poke and prod around. One spotted. The MiGHTYMAX though, running and gunning should be absolutely fine, and it will. They're left all alone. Extra cash in the pocket too as well, so for Heavy God, no complaints. They're doing absolutely fine, and Max will see off the last flawless round for Endpoint, but to be perfectly honest, expected. As he's always kind of alluded to, it was just going to be a very minimal buy for Sprout. Nothing really to write home about. This now is where we can start to focus in and zone in on our attention, right? A full buy coming out for the CT side, an open play for Zello. Hefty amounts of utility ball around it. And Endpoint, this is technically chalked up to being a bonus, right? So this is, it makes it even more spicy for them, right? Endpoint are able to find success here on what is, you know, quote unquote, a bonus round. That would really keep that momentum ticking over in their favor so strongly. Early util coming through as NertZ just going to take a step away.
I will quickly correct myself from what I said earlier.
Go for it.
Sprout have been in Pro League before. However, it was the online season of Pro League during the during the sort of non-arena years and, you know, non-travel years during COVID. So forgive me for forgetting that one. But, you know, if I'm wrong, I have to correct myself, because being right on live broadcasts is what I pride myself on. So there you go. We're going to head into round 4 with Sprout really needing to kick off their CT accurately and precisely. Just like my facts. Punch will come in toward long. Stare, in pool. Also, really lengthy time. This will stop the advance of Endpoint. With their bonus buy, as we've said, with the MP7 and MAC-10, sorry, still in action. One recovered, 45 seconds to go, and they're going to move back toward the apartments. And I wouldn't be surprised to see an apps pop here with the weaponry they have.
Ticking. 30 seconds to work with. Very quiet. Not a bad play here, though, from Sprout, but it's a great flap. He's going to be caught off guard by it, and the nade seeing off Zyphon. No way. Are they about to convert to bonus? Zello catches a leg on crossing, but not the kill. And that might seal the deal. They're going to fall back, and I think they have to.
That's unbelievable. Just look at... It's always painful, right? When Endpoint and Sprout probably watch back this demo later, in Sprout's view, they're going to be looking at Heavy God on 10 HP, NertZ on 10, and Surreal on 7, saying they've got 3 upgrades, and thinking to themselves, oh my goodness, you lucky little rascals, how have you got away with that? But it's 100 to kill, my friends, and that is the reality of the situation. Sprout have to fall back, save what they have. Even though they haven't got any utility, it's so important to keep the AWP in play. And really, it has to be said now, ever since the Sprout recovery on Vertigo, you have to say, in every single map so far, Endpoint have actually looked the better team. You can't argue with that.
No, honestly, aside from those 9 rounds in a row, Endpoint have looked like the better side. I mean, literally the entire, including Vertigo as well. I think even if you look at the earlier stages, that first half, Endpoint with the better side on Vertigo. It was stages as well in the second where they were just a little bit more cutthroat. It was only that 9 rounds in a row, actually, where Sprout looked like the better side. Aside from that, it's been relatively one-sided. This is, again, continuing in this same trend. It's actually quite concerning because Sprout are revered as one of, if not the best tier 2 side. They are up and coming alongside the likes of the Copenhagen Flames, the Game Allegiance, for example. But yeah, at the moment, this is not looking like a side who get a statement as being one of the best in tier 2. And that's not a great start for Stare as well. I like the idea, but the execution, abysmal.
Yeah, not just tier 2, like it's almost tier 1.5, like we like to call it, right? I mean, they're up there, they've made majors, they are sort of on the edge of being a big upset team. At the moment, they're on the brink of being upset. which is not the way round they wanted it. Goodness me. And after the struggle we saw Endpoint have against Genk in the earlier rounds of the lower bracket, we did not expect this performance from them. But we should always believe in NertZ and in our UK brethren. Look at the money.
Do. Don't worry. I always believe in NertZ.
I believe you. But yeah, what's ridiculous, of course, as well, is that after that round that they won with the apps pop and the MiGHTYMAX and the MP7, they've just got free upgrades, which means their money is ridiculously good.
They're swimming in the dollars right now. I mean, they are genuinely loving life. I mean, 30 seconds left there, and they're going for a pop over towards the B site. It is a slightly heavier stack site, so they are definitely going to be tested. How's their metal? We'll have to see. Swinging forward, refresh, trying to take an aggro position. They have to package a flash. They find the first. That's the bomb drop. 15 seconds. Bomb's in no man's land.
That is not good. I can't believe they haven't just gone through the smoke after this. I guess that's the problem with utility. When the smokes are up, it can be so good. And finally, Sprout are getting a handle hold on this game. Great pre-fire from Surreal, but 4 seconds. No, no chance for that plant. Zyphon staying alive and winning this round, but Surreal does grab the AWP. And honestly, this makes the best of what could be considered a bad situation. Silver linings and all that. Look at the money they still have. They got the free AWP to MHL still. And Sprout, of course, the age-old story, won the round with 1 player alive. Not ideal.
No, not at all. I mean, they make it expensive, right? Even when Sprout finds it. We saw a little bit of this on towards our second map overpass. When Sprout found success, it would be very expensive. So they never were sort of stable by any means. But Endpoint never should have lost that. It wasn't a case of Sprout playing that well. It was a case of Endpoint playing that terribly. In fact, when MiGHTYMAX falls with the bomb in hand early doors, why no one's following him afterwards, a real couple of questions got to come through after the back of that. But hey ho. I mean, hindsight is 20/20, as they say, right? And now for Sprout, they'll take any sort of niceties and positives that they can at this sort of stage where, even though, yes, to get around there, my God, it wasn't comfortable.
Indeed. As I say, you know, all these type scenarios on a map like Inferno as well, you really need that money. Utility is paramount. And, of course, they lost the Zello AWP as well with that Surreal kill. Well played situation from Sprout to actually win the round in the end, but need more of that. More of that. A lot cleaner. And now look at this. 40 seconds to go in the round. Sprout have 2 flashes, and that is it. It has to be the stars to step up for Sprout in this one. They're going to be out of money, and even though Zello hits their insta headshot, Max just responds with his own. AK trumping silence M4. Now Stairs arm has been spotted on the edge of lauNX. Heavy Gun trades refresh as well. Zyphon still getting one, but it's not going to matter. Stair tries to fall away, and NertZ deals with him too. There's a tiny gap in the smoke for Surreal. He finds lauNX. Everything's going Endpoint's way.
It's grim. It really is grim over towards Sprout. And funnily enough, actually, this is for any long-term Sprout fans, they will know the situation all too well, and especially where we stand, because in the lower bracket of ESL Pro League Season 16 conference, this same thing happened. They won map number 1 against FTW, and they ended up losing in a reverse sweep overall.
Yeah.
And look where we are now. It's kind of following the same trajectory. And they say, you know, history repeats itself. For Sprout fans, they were hoping not this one. Well, at the moment, it is really not looking good. We are 4 rounds ahead here for Endpoint, and they're starting to build up such a wealth of a lead, economy, everything is playing into their back pocket so nicely that, my God, you just got to feel really concerned about Sprout, and rightfully so. Attack pause called, a good opportunity for the likes of Refresh and Berry to really have a deep conversation here about, you know, what's going right and what's going wrong. And to be honest, very little's going right. They're being outplayed, not winning their Angels. And I've got to say, on a more tactical side as well, Max's calling has been great. The mid-round adjustments are really allowing for the stars to shine and align in favor of Endpoint being in such a healthy position.
Yeah, MiGHTYMAX looking great with his ideas, and it's being executed perfectly by the likes of Surreal, NertZ. It's across the board, everything's going well at the moment. It's still early days. I mean, it's only 5-1, and we're very doom and gloom on Sprout's chances at the moment. But you never know. Just one eco victory can easily kick them back into life again. We already saw that on Vertigo. Just in general, as we've been saying, the performance from Endpoint today has been better than Sprout overall over the course of these 3 maps so far. One boost will be successfully completed, and the 1M4 in this round from Zyphon will have an elevated angle. Fresh spotted. That's a good frag from lauNX to trade back NertZ. So they do at least remove one. And it does force Endpoint back toward mid straight away from Banana. And that could push them into Zyphon.
Yeah, exactly. Minute to work with too. I mean, despite the lowish buyer, Sprout, most Eagles can find some success. You saw Zyphon lovely double the Deagle towards overpass. I mean, of course, that was only an exit. We can do something with the M4. And of course, another scoop got by lauNX. Gun barrel spotted.
Oh.
What's Surreal 2 aware? Knew all about it. Zyphon to fall. Now that A side's starting to get a little bit more vulnerable, but all players have rotated over now.
And Surreal starts hitting his shots like this, then honestly, Sprout, you've got no hope, because this is some pretty sick stuff from Endpoint. There's another headshot for him. 8-1 start to Inferno. And even though there were 2 players on the site, it should be pretty impenetrable. But the M4's been recovered, and that's the big factor.
Oh,
1 versus 1. Max versus Refresh. IGL versus IGL. And Refresh gets it done. What a recovery from Sprout. And a free AWP to go with it as well. Is this what could kickstart them?
Just as I was starting to praise Endpoint, that is a round that they never should lose. Especially, you know, considering the circumstances, the firepower. Credit has to be given to Refresh on the call to rotate everybody over from B. That's super risky. They hadn't actually even committed to the A site there, but, you know, Refresh takes a gamble. It's a bit of a coin flip, but it ends up paying off in dividends. They don't rotate back over towards B. They still try and commit and brute force their way in towards the A site, and well, it doesn't work at all. Really, really well played from Sprout to find some success out of nothing. Leaves us now in a position where for Endpoint, they'll be scratching their heads. How did they, you know, fall flat there? That should have been super simple for them to see off. It's given Sprout a bit of money to work with too, and a very healthy buy. Double AWP setup coming out, 3 M4s around it, a whole host of utility. This is the sort of buy and economy they were looking for. However, it's still not stable. So if Endpoint, you know, turn it back in their favor, kind of continue our regular proceeded showing, it will once again put Sprout in a really dire situation.
Oh, okay. This is a change up. lauNX on a secondary AWP. Instead, does manage to hop away from MHL's grasp. How does this change how Endpoint look at this round? Refresh, spotting a player in the underpass. HL checking to see if any reface comes in. I'm sure if they heard lauNX pull the trigger on a shot toward B. They might not know if that's Zillow or lauNX, of course. I might just think the solitary AWP is toward this side of the map, but of course, on a map like Inferno, it's so expensive to go to those double AWPs. Even if you get one for free, the retakes can be so hard. Not necessarily something you really want to go toward too often. And maybe that's the indication of how Sprout are feeling at the moment. They need to change something up. They feel like they have to push the boundaries. Refresh, long corner. Flash is coming in. 2 of his teammates looking towards short and apartments. And deep smoke will come in.
Surreal a bit of breathing room as well, right? Wrapping towards brackets. I mean, they're still leaving NertZ over towards that B site. It was kind of looming around top Banana. Maybe even could have been the potential around a B split coming through. Oh, he has rotated over, looking once again like they wanted to head towards A. This time, though, how do they play it? Replay it here to meet them. Surreal falling. Do they double back or no? At the time, they have to commit to the A site. And the CTs know all too well about this. The double AWP stepping up for a killer piece. And that'll be all she wrote. Endpoint struggling now at 5 in the same way Sprout did. Sprout go into reaching distance. That's a great round as well for them to turn in their favor because it's kept their economy in check. We were saying about how much of kind of on a knife's edge it was. Now it's all right.
It is, isn't it? It's crazy how things turn so quickly. Of course, though, Endpoint still have a buy in arrears, and they might even have a second buy in arrears actually, with just over 2k still available on MHL, Heavy God and Surreal. But Sprout have been kickstarted by a Refresh 1 versus 1 victory. They still rock that double up as well, as you say. Most certainly works, but of course, Endpoint now are very, very aware this strategy is in play. So, even if Sprout are to win this round, I expect to see maybe a few more faster plays be chucked in by Endpoint and force themselves into at least an afterplant, even if it's a 2v4 afterplant, something like that. Still means that there are 2 AWPs to come in to retake. Especially if they can't find rifles. That's so difficult, as we know.
Zyphon, looking like what's like first contact. Actually just going to fall back. I think it's a smart way to play. NertZ still just trying to set a bit of a ruse. They're not even really playing NertZ as the entry anymore now. He's sort of playing this lurk position, constantly showing that presence over towards top B, trying to draw attention that way, but doesn't go back over with him. This is looking a lot better. Heavy got that's a nice shot, but stare quick on the trade. Numbers go back in favor of Sprout. As it's looking like the bomb is going to commit towards that B site with 35 seconds to work with.
Yep. Has to be the B bomb site, and lauNX is here ready and ready to go. There's the first. Refresh helps up for the second. That's going to clean up. It's easy peasy for Sprout all of a sudden. A clean sweep. And now, what do Endpoint do with this sort of money? As I said, 3 could buy still, but the other 2 would be a bit 50-50 on whether they would or not. It's the question of, do you want to put in a fast play here? And maybe catch off the double AWP setup. Tactical timeout being used to decide exactly that. And there is some utility being brought up with some pistols, so maybe that's exactly what they are going for.
Well, I mean, for Endpoint, this already given me slight flashbacks towards map number 1 in a sense. Maybe not on that sort of a scale, but already a side who are looking well and truly in control and maybe a little bit on edge. Not as confident, not as concise as they were. Are just going to go for the low bar off the back of the attack. They could have potentially maybe played a bit of a hero AK or some sort of force, but oh, they are. There we go. Heavy God does bring out the hero AK. I don't mind this play at all. I think there's definitely justification behind it. Heavy God still would be able to buy in towards the next anyway. So
I agree.
You know, having the increase in firepower could make this doable. There's maybe an argument to be made that could be dropped over to the likes of NertZ and him wield it, but I don't mind this at all. Let Heavy God prove his worth for the AK in hand, out the pistols to essentially tag him up, and maybe Heavy God bag him after that.
Shall see. Now preparing the utility. Tech9 plays. Fast ones can often be very successful on Inferno. Eternal Fire especially are very good at these sort of plays. That's a great early flick from Zello to relieve any early pressure. But it's a whiffy away from Zyphon. He's going to be out of bullets soon. Down to the USP, but thankfully it's enough. And there's the low HP of MiGHTYMAX. They couldn't get Heavy God into the action whatsoever. There's the 1 kill. It's not going to be 2. Zyphon still with that pistol. Gets the frag. And we're all even at 1 map apiece and 5 rounds apiece. It's anyone's game. I mean, what did I say earlier? Like, we were doom and gloom about Sprout's chances, considering it was only 5-1. We really shouldn't have been. Because this series has been back and forth the whole time. Just in general, Endpoint have looked the better team, and I was worried about how Sprout would recover. It really does seem like that refreshed Deagle victory over MiGHTYMAX in that 1v1 on the low buy has really helped them out.
Yeah, it set the tone, didn't it, as well? Sprout having this kind of mental fortitude and resilience to get back in towards this game, because that's exactly where we find ourselves now. Really looking good. A bit of util coming forward. Endpoint, this has to be some success coming through. They cannot afford to continue to drop rounds and continue to be, you know, not very competitive. Sprout will continue to run away with this game as they have been in the last kind of 3-4 rounds, where it's been relatively one-sided. And it does make you debate the question as well, if maybe MiGHTYMAX had won that round versus Refresh, would we be in a completely different position right now with, you know, maybe Endpoint continuing to be so dominant, or, you know, pulling further and further away? It does make you kind of question, in an alternate universe, where we would be.
Great flashbang. Zello works it out brilliantly with Refresh. 2 kills for him, then Zello just stands tall toward long. You can't get past that setup. Zyphon will lose that duel to MHL, but it shouldn't matter too much. He's very low. This round's basically all on NertZ now, but Stare's gone wandering. All right. The bomb is dropped on that long corner, which is probably why Stare wanted to push and help out. But he's still lurking, is NertZ, and he will punish him for that. But MHL has now been found by that secondary AWP of lauNX, but that's awful timing on the pickup of the M4, and now NertZ is tagging down Zello straight through that smoke. What a standoff, and he finds the one bullet needed. Oh my goodness, the drama keeps on flowing, and the bomb being in the CT's possession didn't even matter. What a recovery from Endpoint.
What a game we are being treated to here. This map is not disappointing at all. And NertZ, brilliance once again. I mean, maybe you can even make the argument of fortune favoring the bold and all of the rest, but that is stellar. That is really, really an important round for Endpoint to take as well, because they were starting to dwindle into obscurity just a tad, right? And now we're in a point where we can start to make conversations and arguments about this being very competitive from here on out, and especially heading in towards this next round. Hefty investments both ways. Both sides fully bring as much firepower as they possibly can. Of course, maybe a little bit of a faux pas in the fact that MiGHTYMAX only got the MAC-10 to work with. But aside from that, it's a full investment. Winner of this round breaks either side's economy and realistically should guarantee themselves a lead at the half off the back of it. I mean, there's a lot heading into round number 12 now, and hence why we see a pause before we take aim at what is going to be a very, very spicy affair.
Aggressive face, but the flashes are there to push him away. Just thinking back to that previous round, just the timing's not working for Sprout. If that smoke just wasn't pulled out toward that short position, then NertZ would not have got that kill. This was a raw aim duel. A freebie, basically, and then Zello not even necessarily full HP, and he needed that one bullet in the end after keep continuing to tag him through that smoke. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Now lauNX and Stair, the two young guns, both 14 HP apiece. lauNX is going to rotate all the way around, but the timing on that might not be too good because Endpoint are pretty consistent in going for this B play. That Molotov is a bit of an interesting one. Floating fire. Looks like they're still going to commit in toward B. Two players here now. They've let the rotations come through. Refresh has a line above this smoke right now, and it could work okay. But his teammate though has been taken down, and Refresh can't complete that first kill. Bullets are a huge issue, and he's done so much damage, but not enough for a single kill. Oh, Sprout, what's going on?
It looked like the perfect setup as well, didn't it? It's unfortunate, and you know, no questions asked here. All three of them nowhere to be seen. There is a world actually in which their ability to save him might get tested. I mean, MiGHTYMAX is in the general vicinity. He's having a little poke in too. He might have a little sniff over towards pit and see if he can find himself anything. All it would take is one bullet in two of them. Well, technically with an AK, one bullet in any of them, but a bullet to the chest, to the leg for lauNX and Stair, and they are going to not be able to save him towards next. They're on a little bit of thin ice, to say the least, but it'll be all right. 7 rounds for Endpoint, super important. I was saying, you know, heading in towards this winner of this will kind of destroy the economy of the other. Not to be in this case, because with 3 saves coming across, they can actually drop, so it's all right, but it's still not pretty or comfortable for Sprout. So still kind of consistently stuck in this conversation, which they'll be having in kind of, you know, 15 seconds or so before they get into the round of you know, how do we end up going about playing this? What is our conversation in a little bit more of a longer term sense in these last few rounds of the half? How are we going to be able to simultaneously manage our economy but cut away the deficit that Endpoint is starting to build up? Lots of stuff that Refresh is keeping in his mind and keeping track of the economy. Double stack going into his apps. Hang on here. Surreal might actually spark up, which should be good because Heavy got to find the first.
And that means Zello has to fall away. The setup's removed immediately. And they'll hear that run away as well from Zello. App setup figured out. Pre-fire from Heavy God is glorious. Endpoint 4 kills away from confirming at least a lead on the half.
Worrying times, isn't it? Very, very worrying times. Sprout that are unable to all the way back in towards this. 3 plays over towards the B site. Very, very slow so far. Though. No committing to the bomb just yet. You see Kind of two players having a little look over towards A, not again committing too much. Actually, off the back of the U-tool, a rotate coming through for Endpoint. Are they just going to go for that standard takeover towards A, which they've had, you know, mixed success with?
Zello timing again. This time it works in his favour. Deals with Surreal. Covers it into a 4v4, and now it's his time to step up. Utility's coming in, so he will fall away, but he will still have a good line toward long. The classic op fallback position. And this time we'll go straight back all the way to the site itself to try and help out Refresh. 25 seconds and Endpoint are calling the round. They're calling the site straight back toward B. It's all down to Stair. He needs at least one kill here and to stay alive as well. He gets that one and he drops the bomb as well. That's going to waste a lot of time, and he's trying to keep himself being a nuisance. Oh, it's so close to removing that bomb plant from the equation, but lauNX spraying through the smoke. There are traces with that M4, my friend. NertZ sees it and sprays him back. 3v2. Heavy God's still lurking around the A bomb site all the way through CT. This should put an end to anything that Stair wants to do. He might have found NertZ, but there's an insurance policy coming in here. MHL finds Stair. It's all down to Refresh. He has no idea where the final two players are. I mean, he knows where one is, I should say, but not the second. Heavy God is refusing to show himself as well. He's going to go for the save. No kit available. AK picked up. Back down Banana. Endpoint have found their 8th.
There's the lead. That's what you're speaking about. You know, we looked a couple of rounds ago saying there's a real possibility whoever takes the round will guarantee the lead at the half. There's exactly it. Playing out as expected. These two sides were once inseparable, but Endpoint are doing now plenty to keep their name, you know, head and shoulders above Sprouts. Especially considering they started so well in towards map number 3 and then maybe fell off ever so slightly. The fact that they're now back in control means that they have this sort of this mental fortitude to stay and, you know, get back to their former glory. And, of course, for Sprout now, round number 14, the penultimate, a low buy. They want to have money to work with in towards the 15th. They're not committing much in towards this. Playing off the back of Refresh, half armor, and an AK. It's asking a lot of someone who, in the fragging department, has maybe struggled at times.
Has found his freebie as well. Refresh has that AK. And they have pushed aggressive off the back of it to try and get him somewhere, but it's all really going to be in vain. Endpoint have already taken A for free, and when I say A, they've gone straight up long toward... Oh, it's going to be awkward. Very awkward indeed. lauNX has got the Zeus out, and oh, a team kill in the mix as well. It's getting nervy. MHL has stopped Refresh, and that was the big threat now removed, so that's going to be big. He is charging up mid, and Zello's still got the USP out, and the dink is hit. It's some messy stuff now, but they're getting away with it.
Just about right. I mean, I guess, you know, the damage dealt has been alright. For lauNX, keep on the AK. Don't go anywhere near the action. They would absolutely love to have an AK in their hands working towards the neck. Of course, they'll have a buy anyway, but it's just having that extra little bit of firepower. Endpoint, this is really good. I mean, when you think in the grand scope of this series, what a turnaround from them as well, right? They were 15-10 up on their map pick, and they choked badly. And then ended up losing that to the hands of Sprout. Turned things back around, and Sprout's pick of overpass, and now we're here, sitting on a third and final map with elimination on the line, essentially, right? You know, loser of this is down and out for the count. The winner, you're not guaranteed the spot in Pro League, but you get one step closer. You're so close to, you know, living that form of fortune. And we know Endpoint have been there before last season when they got a victory over NertZ, arguably the upset of the year. I think the only one that really competes in my mind is maybe OG losing to Wings Up at IEM Melbourne. But
oh god, yeah.
aside from that, I'd probably say it's either NertZ Endpoints or Wings Up taking out OG. So they're the two upsets of the year. But Endpoint want to get back, and they want to prove that they deserve to not only get back there, but stay there. And then that would be the big thing. UKC us on the map as well. Do us a solid. Wait, I think that's coming through. Bit of chip damage. The end of the world. MHL will avoid the flash. Not doing too much for now. They might just want to fall away.
All Stairs going in, and he's very close. It's so easy to be spammed here, of course, as well. They seem aware it could be a possibility.
Oh my god.
In he goes, but he jumps straight into the arms of MHL. And that's the freest of no-scopes you could ever wish to have. Final round of the half underway in a vengeance. Zello again needs to try and peek on a timing to recover the situation, but NertZ has found lauNX as well. Good pick to take down his counterpart. I think Zyphon is convinced that Surreal's in the cubby. There it is. But Surreal refuses to give up his life. That's the way you should play it. And it baits in Heavy God. What a play. It's all refresh on the B-bomb site. Does he want to try and do this all by himself? He's going in, but Max has taken his head off. IGL on IGL action goes Max's way again. Bit of revenge from earlier. And now Zello, he's playing with a smoke, but he's last alive, 1v3. Bomb is going toward the B-bomb site, and it is where Zello is residing. But he has to play aggressive at some point. He's being looked at by Max, and there's the kill. There's still time to go back toward A, and now they'll Scarper. But Zello can run them down here. He needs to be quick about it. What's his timing going to be like? Oh, he has to run into the body to get it done. And that is what removes him from the round. 10-5 for Endpoint. Fantastic half. Can they close this one out and get to the grand final after the break? It's fair to say that Sprouts were the favourites at the very beginning of this conference bracket to make it into Pro League for the first time since the online season in season 15, and the first time with a trip to Malta. However, They are 6 rounds away from elimination, and Endpoint are now very close to pulling off what has to be described as an upset. I think for me, they've been the better team throughout this BO3, but let's see if they can finish off the job. 2 sets of dualies. Can they get into the action?
The vast majority of this best of 3 so far, Endpoint have been the better side. I think Sprout have had their, flash in the pan moments of brilliance, but it's never been consistent, and that's why you maybe lean towards the CT side. Looking for trying to open things up here, baiting them in towards the dualies. Max is blind though. He's there for the first and the clearest angles, and Max might be able to mow them down, but he's only good for 2. There's still one more in towards backside as Heavy God waits and beckons over the rotation, but is he going to be cleared? Yes, he will. The bomb will go down, and that should be the round.
They were never ever going to let Heavy God get away with anything there. They knew he was still around and low HP. NertZ could be here. Oh, about to say just in time to deal with Zyphon, but he's going to have to make noise, and Zyphon has not yet heard it yet. We'll look for it though, and there we are. The spin round, and this is where the recovery could come in. Sprout take the T-pistol, and that was a necessity for sure. Because remember, of course, Endpoint on overpass. They were 10-5 up as well. They took the pistol and went up 13-5. So it's been avoided this time around as long as they can get past this force buy, which is, of course, is inevitable. MiGHTYMAX, AK, and Galil. Plenty of util. These deagles can often be so scary.
You never want to count them out, really. Occasionally, you see people just pull off some magic with them. Max will apply of an Ava zone. A little bit of damage. Actually, quite considerable. Perfectly honest. First shield towards there, down to 45. Smoking towards CT. No commit just yet.
There's a presence. So there are at least 2 MAC-10s in play. The Endpoint. And I feeling this would be a close series. I just didn't think that maps would go opposite ways.
It's true.
And now this is basically still too hard to call. There's going to be a quick flank coming in here. Player top mid as Zyphon leaves the scenario. Is he going to push down? He's not going to. So just a full rotation. That's a disgusting opening headshot from Heavy God. That's the issue. And look at this. The leaping around in CT from lauNX to try and get away from the play. They need help from Sarah and Zyphon, and they get it. Very well played. And even despite all the spams through the smokes, lauNX gets away with his life. Don't ask me how, but he has. And they will have an afterplant 4v3. So despite these tags, which continue to come through, Endpoint will have to use these Deagles and 5.7s probably into the next round.
Yeah, it got nervy there for a second, didn't it? But thankfully Sprout were able to, just compose themselves a little bit. Maybe something might happen on exit. If those 2 A players were to rotate towards mid, they might have actually been able to find a little bit of success, especially with how low Sprout players are. But that's not going to be this time. Unfortunately, I guess for Endpoint, they're going to have to come against another relatively strong buy-in towards the next round with them not having too much. So, all in all, better from Sprout starting. Really decent little comeback here. Well, at least to make open the conversation, open the door. Them getting this game much closer than we initially sort of anticipated that it would be.
Yeah.
Only 3 rounds in it now, and it's going to be a low buy for Endpoint. So realistically, it should be 10-8.
Exactly, and now I'm going to go back to the point I mentioned earlier. Like, Endpoint will be looking at this series. They'll be, won't be thinking about it now, of course. They'll be focused on the job at hand. But if they do go on to lose this game, they'll be thinking, how on earth? Because for the overpass performance, it most certainly should have been a 2-0. But Counter-Strike, of course, shoulda, coulda, woulda. What actually happens is what actually happens. That goes without saying. They're now in this situation they find themselves. Still the 6 rounds away, but Sprout coming back at them. Pistols, of course, as I said, still in action, and MHL just continues to punish. And the HP on lauNX is not great either, but again, Sprout will commit in toward B, and it's the correct decision. Only 1 player here, and it's the USP of MiGHTYMAX. Max won't be able to do much with that on half HP. We'll just stick around and probably wait for an exit. Again, it's not a bad idea, actually, for Endpoint. I know it's the boring option. Don't get me wrong. It's most certainly the Jame option. But
yeah,
if they save here, they don't give any bonus cash to the MAC-10s.
I'd take that as a slight win, right? You know, just make sure they don't have too in-depth of a long-term economy over there, and you're absolutely fine. Max having a little poke around. I mean, he's only got a USPS. He's actually just kind of drawing the attention over there.
Smart.
Oh, way. No, he's just baiting them in. He's baiting them in until they die half the time. They're absolutely fine. Not a problem. And Zeller did actually fall, so, you know, slightly positives there. He's forcing the T side actually to make an investment coming in. I mean, Max only had a USPS. No armor. He's no skin off his back at all. Endpoint full buy coming out for them until round number 19. This has to be converted. In the same fashion, actually, we had the conversation for Endpoint in the first half where they were able to convert a force or a bonus buy essentially against the first full buy of Sprout.
Yeah.
Same kind of instance has to be, you know, brought up here, right? If Sprout are able to overcome Endpoint and what is, in a technical sense, a bonus buy in terms of they have safe weapons to work with, things already looking a lot better. AWP in play, both ways. MHL. 10 kills to his name, Zello. 10 kills to his. Both have been okay so far in terms of impact, but whoever shines brightest until the second half might be the difference maker.
Oh, that nade is tasty. 50 HP off of Stare. Green half health. Point. The first big buy in the second half, but Stare's removed one already. Heavy God advancing. Looking for something. But gets nothing. Re-smoke from Max is at a good time. They're going to pop through it. They're going to try and take advantage of it. They might know that Max is the B player, and they've taken advantage of it straight away. That's round done. Just like that. I feel like it hasn't even begun, but it's done.
Yeah, no, exactly. They can't do anything here. They have to just go for a save. I mean, Zyphon can have a little poke and prod over towards A to see if he can maybe make it even more expensive. But the second they lose control of the site, that's it. And actually, look at the call here being made by Sprout. They are sending bodies to go hunting. And I like this call. If they make this expensive over towards Endpoint, they themselves know they'll have money to work with in towards the next. They know Endpoint won't. They have to pass where it's going to be a pretty brutal save here. Look at this. 4 bodies swarming around. It's shark-infested water. Zilla has a little pop shot at Stair, his teammate. But aside from that, they have kind of alerted Endpoint that they are being hunted. Then it comes, smokes come through. Can they survive? Will they survive is the question. Well, the AWP boat, none of them will.
Wow.
Flawless for Sprout. What a round. What a way to do it as well. That is sumptuous. Nothing safe for Endpoint. And it puts them back to square one. Sprout have come out flying in towards T-side. And I can't lie, kind of goes back to what I was saying prior to this map starting. Where should Sprout start? The T-side, because it suits their playstyle better.
Yeah, but you know, it's the age-old story. You do play both sides, so it doesn't really matter. You do get your chance as long as you at least keep yourself competitive from CT. And yeah, they're really showing it now. This game could not be closer. Look at the kills across the board as well. MHL 10, Max 10, NertZ 14. Only one really separating himself from the rest. Sprout even across the board. 12, 11, 11, 10, 7. So tight. Not many really that high fragging as well because of all the saves, of course. In general. Going to be down to these big individual plays toward the end of this game to find out who is eliminated and who goes through to the grand final. One slot in the main stage of Pro League still on the line. Both teams battling to get that one chance at one more BO3 to clinch that spot. Fours versus Falcons coming up after this game. Refresh, good hold on the spray. 3 kills for him. He's had a slow series, but some ecos like that will certainly give him some more confidence. Zello, I think a bit distracted by his teammate crossing the angle there, but doesn't matter. He's going to be absolutely fine. Surreal needs a god tier play. He's going to get spammed down by Refresh. 4 kills for the IGL. And we're back even. What did I say? 5 rounds apiece? 1 map apiece? It's now 10 rounds apiece. 1 map apiece. This is just so close.
Yeah, this is really close. But on the other side, it's looking a little bit dire towards Endpoint. I mean, this is not good so far. They are falling a bit behind in terms of momentum heavily. And a good call, actually, for attack to be used there. I mean, they have had a significant lead coming in towards this CT side, and a lot of sides do prefer the CT on Inferno. Generally speaking, it's the most even map in all the pool. 52% CT side is as even as it gets. But generally speaking, though, you need to be careful, Endpoint, because not only is Sprout now tied up, but they are running away momentum-wise. And looking at that scoreboard too, while it's been relatively okay over towards that CT side, they just aren't able to close out rounds more than anything. Funny enough, Refresh, who had a bit of a stinker in towards up the one of Vertigo, he was struggling. I think he only had single-digit kills, if I'm right in saying. Doing all right now. Top fragging, 16 to his name, 88 ADR. He's big chilling. 15 enemies flashed as well. A real support god. That's what we were saying he's there for. To allow for the youngsters to shine. And, well, he himself right now is shining very well. Tedor. Full buy.
He's not even that old himself. So,
no.
you know.
Is he 23, 24?
I think he's 23, 24, yeah. I'll have a check in a second. But, yeah, obviously, we always say about how this is a young team. Well, yeah, if they don't get poached, this team could be together for a very long time. We shall see how the year pans out. Zelo's made so much progress, but he can only hit the tag. I think it was a leg shot through the box as well, so it only does 50 health of damage to NertZ. Zelo almost had a chance there. That he was way more advanced than Endpoint we were expecting for a second or two. Damn. What a feeling it must be in this game. Completely on a knife edge. It's going to be all down to the individual plays, showing up at the big moments.
Nerves, right? It must be pretty through the roof right now. So nice shot. MHL to 4. There's the all-important opener. You know, first crack at it on NertZ over towards long. Doesn't work in his favour. Second time of asking. That's nicely.
Yeah, and it's those small kills just so impactful at this stage of the game. Removing the AWP from the equation as well of MHL. Perfect timing. Now Zyphon, good molly, hasn't seen the arm of NertZ in Graveyard. That was visible, but only to me, of course, not to him. But Zelo, what a frag to take. Surreal still in pit, but only gets the one. And once again, 80 seconds to spare. Bomb planted safely in the cubby. They've swarmed the site with barely any time remaining. Really well thought out round from Sprout. They're going to take the lead from 10-5 behind. Endpoint have not won a CT round yet.
This is grim. They are seriously struggling right now. I mean, it's a tough one to watch, to say the least. Where we stand, it is one-way traffic for Sprout on that T side. Flawless so far. Sprout being on the T side too. Looking like it's not going to stop anytime soon. No one saved for Endpoint, which means that they're just in a horrible, horrible predicament. Surreal could maybe pick up a hero rifle in towards the next. Is it worth it? You then start to ask questions about exactly that. Pretty grim. I don't want to be in the Endpoint camp at all. And they've only got one tac pause left as well. It's not exactly like they're got a few left in the chamber. They've burned quite a few early doors. It's not a great position to be in, but hey, we'll try and make work do with what we've got, right?
And the thing that's so scary is that this is actually kind of how Endpoint started, right? They had such a lot of money at 5-1 up. And of course, Sprout came back a little bit. But now Sprout basically find themselves in exactly the same situation. Look at their cash. Zyphon's on quintuple digits. And Endpoint keep failing to save because Sprout are hunting them over and over again. Zyphon will peek into two players this time, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm not sure he had any information that the second player was right next to the first player who was fighting. But it will be an executing toward B. There are two players here. Long-range CZ taps. That's not going to work out for you. But these headshots might. Max is hitting amazing shots with the Deagle. Oh my goodness, what a time to step up. Two insane one-digs, and he has to be cleared out. But there's the CZ. And now it's all down to Refresh. CZ appears from the smoke as well. Oh my goodness. What a round to win. Guns recovered. Suddenly look at the buy for Endpoint. They're rolling in it out of nowhere.
Yeah, Max and MHL have had an absolute corker of around there. 2 apiece for them. Max is opening double with a Deagle was really something special. And in the same fashion that Refresh changed the trajectory of this game and changed the momentum of their opposition, maybe Max's Deagle, the other IGL, might be able to do exactly the same. And especially if you're an Endpoint fan of the team, you'd be hoping exactly that, because these last few rounds, or last 5 in particular, haven't been great. Finally, On the 6th attempt, they found their first on the CT side, were all tied square.
Yeah.
It's still definitely in the sails of Sprout. Everything is, it's still definitely on their side. But for Endpoint, those are the sort of rounds you need. The ones which seemingly come out of nothing that can maybe change how things shape up in the near and far future. 11-all though. Off the back of a Sprout pause. Get back underway.
Yeah. Call 911 because I think Endpoint might have just got out of jail. That is such a huge round to win. Max as well, stepping up with the deagle. Would you respect him? I think even he will admit himself he's not usually the one to do so. But again, they're going super aggressive toward Banana and they're just destroying everyone. Still down to NertZ, but they're not expecting that third player on the B bomb site. But now, of course, they'll know it's only NertZ, but only is a very strong word because NertZ is doing such a great job here. Good grenade damage to Stair and lauNX. He's tagged down Stair even further. They need to find a way to deal with him. Surreal's on the rotation, but NertZ is wasting so much time. He finally gets removed. But NertZ has done a sterling job there. Only 1 kill, but the time wasted is stellar. It's now lauNX and Stair. Both of them not particularly healthy, but that grenade towards Surreal does do some damage. Step heard. Surreal's made that sound cue. Smoke available, kit available, molly available. Tap to begin with, but they're both going to rotate through ruins and try and catch Surreal in the back. There's information. Surreal gets 1, but not 2. It's so close, but lauNX just about seals it. Lead back to the German org. Wow.
Oh my god, that is down to the wire. Thin ice, wafer, thin ice. But Sprout played it back in their favour. Endpoint, they'll be kicking themselves. That's another great opportunity. Another point in which we definitely could have seen them scoop back a lead in their favour. And maybe the CT have a little bit of dominance.
Yeah.
Not to be. Sprout played the trade really well, in fact. In the 2 versus 1, they just got to play the numbers game. And despite Surreal finding the first, the composure there in the trade is exactly what matters most. Now for Endpoint, how do they rectify this situation?
So many situations have been needed to be rectified. It's funny, isn't it? The one they've been looking for a round all half on CT, and of course they get it with pistols. It's just the way Counter-Strike works, isn't it? Oh no, more mistaken utility. NertZ's ass is a little bit too thick, I'm afraid. And then Molotov will get blocked, but they still do take bottom banana. And they might use this flashbang to try and take it even deeper. But right now, Heavy God's just going to play Smoke Fade. You do get the advantage as a player if you play Smoke Fade. Look at the standoff. I actually don't know that they're here right now. This is pretty remarkable. He's going to eke forward, but Refresh destroys him. Sprout starting to come alive.
We need just something different from Endpoint, right? I think maybe even a call to action in terms of being a little bit more aggro on that CT side. They're playing very similar sort of playstyles in terms of passive and something. I shot from MHL. We were saying a bit of CT aggression could be enough. Not bad, not bad. Zyphon still tucked in the smoke. Max with the util coming through as well. That bomb flooding over towards the B site, but still that rotation hasn't been tempted yet. As Zyphon continues to keep the attention drawn towards A. There's the first, a second for Max with the IGL stepping up for 3. What a round from him. He'll wield the AWP. Not often you see him use it. But Bogdan's law is called upon here as Zyphon's all alone. 1 versus 4. Can he get the exits? No. Surreal will see him off. What a round. And it's Max who steps into the play. That's twice now that when Endpoint needed a round, it's the IGL who leads from the front.
Back and forth, back and forth. What a round from Max. He's really stepped up when they needed him to in this game, and he's actually the top fragger for his team now. All the kills so close across the board. Really, we haven't seen the AWPs really show up in this map. Zello and MHL have both been quiet, but that aggressive peak from MHL in that previous round was so big to get Endpoint back into it. Exactly the kind of play you need from your AWPer. And now the money is in a terrifying position for both teams. What a knife edge we find ourselves on again. It's what I call a swing round. Whoever loses it will be broken. It might be a faster apps play coming in for Zyphon and lauNX. In they go, but there is a good setup to defend against it, and Surreal gets both of them. Stair low as well. It has to be back toward B, but they're going into the main man, Max.
Legacy players, man, they are really doing justice for Endpoint right now. Not often you can say MiGHTYMAX is the top fragger on his team, especially with the amount of firepower they've got. This time he's been brilliant. Boosted up towards Nubox. Smokes will come through as well. This is a committal play. He'll avoid the flash. Absolutely fine. And Heavy God will just play off the contact. This is a really good setup. MHL's been beckoned over in the rotation. It should be fine. Will he get taken with a Molotov? I think he should be okay, and he will. The elevator position. He'll net one more. Max won't stop, can't stop before Refresh puts him in the grave. But it's down to MHL to try and deny. And Heavy God can swing off that contact, as we mentioned. Pop shot through the box, finding a tag, and Heavy God will see him off. Bomb drop, 30 seconds to work with, and MHL is not missing those. Sumptuous CSGO from Endpoint as they continue to stay competitive. What a game we're getting here.
This is bloody exciting, isn't it? Damn. This is wild stuff. I thought for sure that Endpoint were actually probably pretty calm in that particular round because they had that insurance policy of Heavy God toward Dark. But all that time, the tag hit by MHL meant that Heavy God could feel even more comfortable in emerging. One boost comes in. Oh, only pistols to face. That was almost a tasty opener. Endpoint are being given a free path to 14 here. Sprout have no other choice.
My God, I'm just taking a moment to get a little bit of a breather. This has been some fantastic Counter-Strike. I mean, maybe the age-old moniker of all good best threes are, decided on a photo. Maybe it's right. Maybe there's some truth behind it.
You're gonna eat your words now, huh?
Slightly.
A banger.
This has been an absolute corker of a game. What a game we've had so far. Yeah, as you mentioned, on paper, this should be a 14, but I've said this before, and we've seen upsets like the MiGHTYMAX MHL Wombo combo. So I'm not going to get too confident just yet, but, we've seen some really good CSGO coming out of Endpoint in these last few rounds. So far, so good.
right.
12, looking for 14. And the brakes are pumped just slightly, but the B hit is going to be coming momentarily.
They've got the one smoke, and they've got the one flash. They have nothing really to go with it at all, apart from a lauNX Deagle with Kevlar. He needs a life round here. Somehow keep the pattern going of neither one of these two teams getting 2 rounds away from each other. This nade's going to be pretty decent. Chunks 2 of them. He comes to play. Max gives himself 2 more, looking for even more to add to the tally as well. HL pulls up the P250. There's lauNX showing up, but it would be a 1v5. And it's 12 seconds on the clock as well. Gets himself in. Max takes the kill. 20 for him now. The first man to 20 alongside Refresh in the server. That's hilarious, isn't it? The 2 IGLs. Stereotypes? What stereotypes? Damn. What
a new age.
Game.
New age of IGLs. You've got to be able to frag as well. It's no longer an argument. But definitely in my mind, I've always thought this for the last kind of year and a bit. There's no longer an argument anymore that IGLs can't frag. I hate the sort of stipulations like, he has some terrible stats. It's okay, he's the IGL. It's not the case anymore, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
They should be held to at least some regard. Of course, not superstar firepower, but competent. And both of these guys have been extremely competent.
Exactly. I mean, Hooksy can get his standard 15 per game, and G2 will win. It's as simple as that. As long as the other stars perform. It doesn't need to be any more than that. It just so happens in this particular game, Max and Refresh having a lot of impact. Refresh won that 1v1 against Max earlier on with the deal, which really kick-started Sprout's comeback. And Max has had a number of insane rounds in the last few. In comes the push. This is the huge one for Sprout, but the AWP is in the equation. The Heavy God's here too. It's going to be very hard to deal with. Heavy God, he's shown his angle. The MHL keeps hitting shots with the AWP. A resmoke as well is going to be really well timed. Has even got time to get a reload in. Zyphon, Stare and Refresh, 3v5. This is borderline impossible, especially with Zyphon continuing to lurk. They're not aware of long being a possibility as of yet. But look where Max has positioned himself. He is the bolster for that kind of play. He's looking for it, and MHL gets another. He's on for an ace at the most critical round of the game. Exposing himself from the smoke. There's the 4th. And now it's all down to Zyphon. Should find Max, but even that time it doesn't look too good. Max destroys him, and Endpoint are on series point.
What is this game? Endpoint are playing lights out Counter-Strike right now. This is what you look towards. When you look towards fantastic, exciting CSGO, You don't get much better than this. This is a stunning, stellar display from Endpoint. You know, they're a side who made Pro League last season and, you know, maybe underperformed ever so slightly, but they were going through a myriad of roster changes. Now they've got the new boys in the block with Heavy God and MHL coming through, and my God, do they look scary. This has been brilliant. I want to peek off the back of a flash, potentially. They are one round away from success. He gets caught by the flash, Molotov coming through. Who gets on blinded first? If we refresh with the MAC-10, instant traded by MHL's Orb as MiGHTYMAX continues to be so impressive. Give this man a medal.
It's unbelievable. And then the last 3 players are coming his way as well here. He's going to spot all 3 of them, and he can just about fall away. He's going to need to strafe, though. Decides to fight instead, and that's the way to do it. Max gets 2 of them, and even Dink's the last player. Sprout, almost eliminated, are now eliminated. The favourites of the bracket are gone. Endpoint are through to the grand final and have a chance to play for Pro League.
Oh my God. Max is a king. Leading by example. What a performance from him. Map number 3 is Max's. I don't want to hear anything else. Talk about whatever you want. That is a MiGHTYMAX masterclass. Ladies and gentlemen, bookmark it, copyright it. This kid can't be stopped. What a game.